Good. Thank you, Sarah. Updated Arctic air alerts arrive in Minnesota. The National Weather Service is hoping to streamline the messaging behind frigid weather forecasts. KIMT Stormteam Three meteorologist Travis Clark-Smith has the new terminology to know heading to our digital devices.
A couple months ago, the National Weather Service released some information on new cold weather alerts that we will begin to use this season. And I thought now would be a good time to remind you what those are. Meteorologists have been talking for decades about the wind chill and basing some alerts on that factor. The National Weather Service has done some research and found that extreme cold headlines could be made simpler. I spoke with Tyler Hasenstein, a meteorologist at the NWS office in the Twin Cities, and he explained some of the reasoning.
We used to have to issue basically wind chill watches, warnings, advisories for extreme cold events that had no wind, and that didn't really ever make sense. And also, this just it simplifies the terminology so it's a little bit easier to understand as well.
The threshold to issue these alerts is dependent on location and the apparent or real field temperature. When asked what the threshold is specifically for the KIMT viewing area, Tyler told me this.
Under the 25 below zero for extreme cold advisory and 35 below zero for extreme cold warning.
An extreme cold watch may be issued when confidence is high that real field temperatures will be low in the next day or two, but it isn't clear whether an advisory or a warning is appropriate. Now, you might be wondering if we might see a cold weather advisory issued for this week's weather. Despite the very low temps in the forecast, it's not likely they will dip down to the level that would trigger one.
Southeastern Minnesota, we're more so in kind of maybe the upper teens to low 20s. So we're still at least 2 or 3 degrees away from that advisory threshold.
And so while we might not see an alert for this week's round of cold weather, it still could be pretty dangerous. So bundle up if you're headed outside for any amount of time. In Rochester, meteorologist Travis Clark-Smith, KIMT News 3.
The National Weather Service also advises that wind will be a factor during this round of cold air, and those real field temperatures will be down. So when winds are howling, you may want to think about getting out of the outside temperatures there, get into a shelter to stay warm.